So here I am posting another video about the solar eclipse that's happening in April 2024. There's more and more evidence that's coming out so you can see it. If you haven't seen my first video, you can watch that or you can watch it after this video. But I need you to see exactly what I was trying to express and what I was trying to talk about.
This video is for you if you want to understand why religious people feel a certain way about the upcoming solar eclipse. I'm not going to waste your time, I'm just going to get right into it. Now, people on both sides of religion, the ones who worship good and the ones who worship evil, pay attention to the moon here because they understand that those are signs. Now, the people that most consider worship evil, they tend to lean toward this one right here. But this one, the solar eclipse, doesn't happen very often. The last one here was in 2017, but the one before that was in 1979. So the fact that we're getting them more and more frequently is standing out to a lot of religious people. Time to get into the meat and potatoes. Those religious people went to the book of Revelation because they and a lot of others, even non-religious people, feel like it could be the end of the world. Here's what they noticed, and it gets more interesting the further into it you get. These are the last 3 paths of totality for the last 3 solar eclipses that were in the US. This one right here is the one we're about to get. God says in the book of Revelations, I am the Aleph and the Toph, which are the first and the last letters of the Hebrew alphabet. The beginning and the end, the first and the last. Now with that in mind, if you look at the map here, you can see the Aleph and the Tav. So is this God? Is this a sign from God? And that's still not it. Here's another passage talking about God's return. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened and the moon will not provide its light. Sounds a little bit like a solar eclipse, right? Back to it. The stars will fall from the skies and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Well, NASA posted that this is going to be one of the only eclipses that we could see a large eruption of solar material. Falling stars. Another thing to consider here is that in the Bible, God said it would be about 2,000 years before his return. We are currently in the year 2024. Now, a lot of people in today's generation, that's not enough. They need more. Well, God actually spoke on that too. He answered and said to them, an evil and adulterous generation, which sounds way too much like us, craves for a sign, and yet no sign will be given to it but the sign of Jonah the prophet. So who's Jonah the prophet? What's his story? Well, Jonah was tasked by God to go to a city called Nineveh, where he was going to preach the word to the people of that city and save them. Jonah did not want to do that. Jonah decided to go west and run. He went through his tribulation and then still ended up in the city of Nineveh. What's unique about that is the solar eclipse we're about to get passes over 8 cities called Nineveh. If you draw a line through all of those cities, you can tell that it passes right under Michigan. The same exact way the solar eclipse we're about to get does. This is how the Bible explains God's second coming. Behold, he is coming with the clouds, and every eye will see him, even those who pierced him, and all the tribes of the earth will wail on account of him. Pay attention specifically to the he is coming with the clouds, because we are expecting a historical chance of cloud coverage during the eclipse. Those are not the only things. There's plenty of other things referencing the end times that are currently happening, and I'll bullet point them for you. What's extremely specific is that God says the Euphrates River will dry up in the end times. And I hate to say it, but the Euphrates River just recently dried up, guys. He said we were going to get hit by pandemics, and well, has anyone heard of COVID? The Bible also says that in the end days, the Jews will build a 3rd temple and sacrifice a red cow, which will then usher in the Antichrist, whom they think is the Messiah. Well, they just announced the construction of a 3rd temple, and Texas is sending them red cows to sacrifice. I personally believe that there's way too many coincidences regarding this solar eclipse to not feel a certain way about it. Regardless, I hope you guys got something from this video and can now understand where more religious people are coming from.
Now, who's to say it's going to actually be the end of the world? But I think it's the end of an era and the beginning of a new era. A lot of people are actually trying to retaliate against the people that are in authority so that way the people can have its power back. But they're trying to scare us. They're trying to make us more poor so the rich can get richer. They're building underground bunkers. They're making AI more powerful, technology more powerful, giving people jabs and making people dependent on medicine. And if anyone talks about holistic healing, they try to shut them down. And they're just trying and trying and trying and trying to really tear us down and tear our faith down. Do not let that happen. Do not let that happen. And I'm just telling you, I do not care what religion or what faith you walk by. All I know is that have faith in something bigger than you, because what's going to happen is bigger than all of us. And I just need everybody to be prepared, because I want everyone to have a great afterlife.